Chris Jericho WWE return plans leaked. Drew McIntyre suffers a devastating blow. Cody Rhodes turns heel. The WWE turns a SmackDown superstar into a jobber. Zoey Stark provides a major update on her WWE return. A 5-time champion is leaving the WWE. Why Triple H took the WWE Women's United States Championship off Chelsea Green. Why Matt Cardona is back in WWE but not as Zack Ryder. AJ Styles shuts down AEW retirement plans. CM Punk called out for looking out of shape. Let's dive right in. Drew McIntyre suffers a devastating blow. There is some bad news for fans of WWE superstar Drew McIntyre ahead of his major match against Cody Rhodes. The two will face each other in Berlin, Germany. Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre have been in a heated feud for quite some time. Their rivalry took another ugly turn on the latest edition of SmackDown, where McIntyre burned down a picture of Cody and his late father, Dusty Rhodes. The two stars are now set to face each other for the undisputed WWE Championship in a 3 stages of hell match on January 9th, 2026, in Berlin, Germany. Ahead of this much-anticipated clash, Drew McIntyre has suffered a devastating blow. For those unaware, WWE is currently on its holiday tour. The Scottish Warrior has been locking horns with the American Nightmare regularly during different live events. On December 26, 2025, Rhodes faced McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Championship in a no-DQ match, which Cody ultimately won. Their second outing came on December 27th, where they locked horns in a street fight, which also ended in Rhodes' favor. They faced each other in a street fight in 3 more bouts, and all of these contests ended in the American Nightmare's favor. McIntyre suffered another defeat at the hands of his arch-nemesis in their latest clash in a steel cage match in Worcester. This is extremely bad for the Scottish Warrior, as he has now lost 6 consecutive matches against Cody. As mentioned, Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes are set to lock horns for the undisputed WWE Championship in a 3 stages of hell match on the January 9th, 2026 edition of SmackDown in Berlin, Germany. Jonathan Coachman recently took to X to report that the Triple H-led creative team is planning to put Rhodes over once again in this match. He also highlighted that the company wants to book a match between Cody and Roman Reigns for the title at WrestleMania 42. But that's exactly what is going to happen. My sources have Cody and Roman at Mania. Such a miss the last 18 months. Drew has the heel chops to be that nasty heel they need that they see to be positioning Gunther to try and be. But Gunther simply isn't that kind of a heel. Booking is not right, and Drew is getting the short end of stick, he wrote. It remains to be seen what the Stamford-based promotion has planned for Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes on January 9th, 2026. Cody Rhodes turns heel. Cody Rhodes is the current undisputed WWE champion and is set to defend the title against Drew McIntyre next week. It's official that Rhodes versus McIntyre will unfold in a 3 stages of hell match. During SmackDown this week, McIntyre revealed the stipulations, which included a standard wrestling match, a Falls Count Anywhere match, and a steel cage match. Additionally, the show saw the return of Randy Orton, who confronted the American Nightmare and challenged him to a future world title match. In the meantime, WWE has seemingly dropped hints about Cody Rhodes' heel turn. Let's take a look at 3 signs that suggest Rhodes may turn heel this year. Since Nick Aldis reinstated Drew McIntyre on SmackDown, he has continued to warn Cody Rhodes and has threatened to strip him of his championship. When the National Treasure spoke with the Scottish Warrior, he accepted all his conditions, including that if Rhodes physically attacks him, he will be stripped of the title. Without any discussion with the American Nightmare, Aldis accepted McIntyre's terms. These forced regulations of the National Treasure could turn Cody into a heel star soon, and this seems to hint at his upcoming villainous turn. After returning in the first episode of SmackDown 2026, Randy Orton confronted the American Nightmare and issued a challenge for the undisputed title. Additionally, Sami Zayn clarified his intention to become the world title holder this year. It's crucial to note that both Sami and Orton are babyface stars, and if WWE plans to execute these 2 feuds with Cody Rhodes, they may turn him heel. Due to Nick Aldis' orders, Cody Rhodes failed to respond to the Scottish Warrior's actions. Since his return, Rhodes has been repeatedly provoked by McIntyre, making their feud even more personal. Considering this, the pent-up aggression of the undisputed WWE champion, the Stamford-based promotion seems to hint at Rhodes' heel turn. This aggression will turn into frustration and eventually turn him into a villainous star. It remains to be seen how things will unfold for Cody Rhodes in the coming weeks, and whether he will manage to retain his title against McIntyre in the 3 stages of Hell Showdown. The WWE turns a SmackDown superstar into a jobber. WWE might have zeroed in on a superstar who could be used to push newcomers or returning legends. In short, the company might have found its next jobber, and it's Kit Wilson, one half of Pretty Deadly, tag team unit on SmackDown. Wilson's partner Elton Prince is out of action due to an injury, and the company seemingly has plans to use Kit Wilson as a jobber. The 30-year-old superstar appeared on SmackDown this week with a new entrance theme. Wilson competed and lost against a returning Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder, on SmackDown. This was Cardona's second appearance in WWE. Before this match, he returned on the November 17th edition of SmackDown in the Last Time Is Now tournament and competed against LA Knight. Kit Wilson's role is expected to be on the line with that of former WWE superstar Heath Slater. Slater was part of the Nexus faction in 2010, but after the stable was dissolved, he was mainly used as a jobber after 2013. He stayed with the company for nearly 14 years, 2006 to 2020, and was released in 2020 due to budget cuts. Now, Wilson is supposedly considered for Slater's role. On social media, there is a lot of chatter on Wilson's new entrance theme, and it's presumed that he will be taking a Heath Slater role in the company to push the talent. Slater hasn't been seen in the Stamford-based promotion for the past 5 years. However, he is very much active in the squared circle, and even once pitched WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H for a return. While speaking in an interview in December 2024, Slater jokingly asked Triple H to think over the idea of bringing back Nexus. The heel faction was disbanded after a defeat at SummerSlam in 2010, and the decision to write it off has been severely criticized by wrestling veterans and fans over the years. Slater also revealed that the company offered him another contract after his departure in 2020, but he rejected it because he said that it would have fetched him half of what he was making in the company. He currently performs at Impact Wrestling, and there are no plans for his return to World Wrestling Entertainment. Zoey Stark provides a major update on her WWE return. WWE has headed into 2026 under the creative leadership of Chief Content Officer Triple H and is set to reach new heights this year. Fans have accepted multiple shakeups, including some big returns. Recently, an injured superstar, Zoey Stark, teased her return to World Wrestling Entertainment after suffering a career-ending injury last year. The 31-year-old Monday Night Raw star suffered a career-threatening injury during a triple threat match against Rhea Ripley and Kairi Sane. Stark landed awkwardly on her leg while performing a missile dropkick from the top ropes, which led to her tearing her ACL, MCL, and meniscus and keeping her out of WWE for months. After her surgery, Zoey has been in constant rehab and is preparing for her return to the sports entertainment juggernaut. Recently, she shared a picture of herself at the gym on her official X account, and she looked ripped and was undoubtedly in the best shape of her life. She also dropped a subtle hint about her return by captioning the picture, "Almost." From the subtle hint dropped by the Monday Night Raw superstar and her massive improved physique, it appears she is ready to return this week. However, if she has passed the medical and has gotten clearance from the medical staff to once again compete inside the squared circle and shoot another dropkick, the best case scenario for her return would be to come out as a surprise entrant this month at the traditional Women's Royal Rumble at the WWE Royal Rumble 2026 Premium Live event and add a shocking factor to the bout. That said, it will be interesting to see when Zoey Stark returns to World Wrestling Entertainment and what plans the creatives may have in store for her upon her return. A 5-time champion is leaving the WWE. WWE entered a new year, and the company is ready to kickstart the road to WrestleMania 42 in a matter of weeks. Meanwhile, a new report suggests that a top name is planning to leave the promotion. In 2022, Tommaso Ciampa received his main roster call-up when he joined Monday Night Raw under the old regime. A few months later, he crossed paths with Johnny Gargano, and the two eventually reunited on WWE's main roster, reuniting as a tag team. According to Bodyslam Plus, the 2-time NXT, 1-time NXT tag team, and 2-time tag team champions contract is coming up, and Ciampa currently plans on finishing his contract with the company without a renewal. The report indicates that the 40-year-old star plans to leave the company rather than sign an extension. While the report doesn't state the reason behind Ciampa's decision to leave, the former NXT champion reportedly wants to finish his contract with the company. It'll be interesting to see what's next for him and Johnny Gargano in the coming months. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano were once the biggest names on the developmental brand under Triple H's creative leadership during the old regime. The two have faced each other on several instances and won multiple titles on the black and gold brand. However, success on the developmental brand doesn't always translate similarly on the main roster. In 2023, DIY reunited on the main roster and began working in the tag team division. The following year, they moved to Friday Night SmackDown and eventually captured the WWE Tag Team Championship from Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. In December 2024, #DIY turned heel together on the roster for the first time and won their second WWE Tag Team Championship from the Motor City Machine Guns. Later, they lost the title to the Street Profits, but remained a top team in the division in the coming months. Why Triple H took the WWE Women's United States Championship off Chelsea Green. The New Year edition of WWE Friday Night SmackDown was, as expected, a jaw-dropping show. It was arguably one of the most entertaining weekly programs the Stamford-based promotion has produced in recent months. Apart from all the action, the show also saw a championship switch hands. Julia finally avenged her title loss against Chelsea Green by beating her clean in the co-main event and becoming a 2-time Women's United States champion. Fans have witnessed a rise in shocking outcomes and unexpected title changes under the creative leadership of Triple H. Tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown was important, as it was the first edition of the Blue brand this year. Taking the women's U.S. title off Green and crowning a new title holder helped the company create a shocking moment to kick off the year. The game booked a title loss when the fans were least expecting it. While many feel WWE buried the hot mess by booking her to lose the Women's United States Championship, that might not be the case. The defeat could allow her to enter the main event scene and pursue a bigger prize. Given Green's rising popularity, the game could directly put her in the world title picture. She could even pull off a shocker by winning the 2026 Women's Royal Rumble match and punching her ticket to WrestleMania 42. Julia has immense potential as a superstar and professional wrestler, and CCO Triple H is well aware of the fact. This was seemingly the reason why she was booked to win the Women's United States title from Zelina Vega in the past. The Beautiful Madness dethroned Green after the Canadian defeated her last year to capture the WWE Women's United States Championship. Green is already over among fans, while Julia still needs to gain momentum. Hence, the company might have booked the upstart to defeat the Green regime leader. Why Matt Cardona is back in WWE but not as Zack Ryder. Chelsea Green's husband Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder, is back in WWE. During the first episode of SmackDown in 2026, Ryder made his presence known as the mystery opponent of Kit Wilson. Earlier, Zack Ryder's WWE music hit the arena, but soon the lights dimmed, and Zack was introduced as Matt Cardona, his famous indie wrestling gimmick. Let's look at why Matt Cardona is back in the Stamford-based promotion, but not as Zack Ryder. When Ryder last appeared in World Wrestling Entertainment, he was part of John Cena's Last Time Is Now tournament. There, he lost to LA Knight, and it was a one-off appearance. Now, Ryder's return is as a full-timer, as Michael Cole confirmed that Nick Aldis has signed Zack, who was a free agent. Given that Ryder will now appear on television weekly, WWE might have preferred to give him a fresh start rather than carry his old gimmick. This could be why he made his return as Matt Cardona, not as Zack Ryder. The Matt Cardona gimmick of the 40-year-old star appears to be more serious and ruthless than his Zack Ryder gimmick. Cardona has even competed in many ruthless matches on the independent circuit. Additionally, he was once crowned the king of death matches. Considering this, Triple H might have preferred this Matt Cardona gimmick over Zack Ryder. This would allow WWE to establish a serious talent on the SmackDown roster, competent enough to compete in high-profile matches, and a great contender for the mid-card title. After leaving WWE a few years ago, Zack Ryder introduced his Matt Cardona gimmick and continued to wrestle on the independent circuit. During this tenure, he won multiple championships and competed in significant matches. It's possible that the chief content officer could be impressed by Ryder's Matt Cardona gimmick. This could be why he brought back Zack in the Stamford-based promotion, but in this ruthless gimmick. This will allow the game's creative team to book Cardona in a similar way to how he was booked in the indie wrestling scene. In addition, it will help the company establish Matt in a better way than his previous run in the Stamford-based promotion. Also, in the near future, Matt Cardona's gimmick may open the door to a world title match. AJ Styles shuts down AEW retirement plans. AJ Styles just shut down a fan on Twitter for claiming he should have ended his career in AEW, and it's got the internet talking. The Phenomenal One is heading toward retirement in 2026, but not everyone's happy about how he's wrapping things up. One fan fired off a tweet saying Styles should have left WWE behind for one last run in AEW. Should have finished with the AEW run. He chose the WWE money. Styles obviously didn't let it slide. The former WWE champion fired back by calling it the dumbest thing to have ever been said. I'll take dumbest things to ever have been said for 100, Alex. The tweet comes at a time when Styles' future is already a hot topic in wrestling circles. Earlier in 2025, WWE quietly extended his contract by a year, locking him in until February 2026, just after Royal Rumble and right before WrestleMania season, according to Fightful Select. The idea? Give AJ one last run and one hell of a send-off. That's exactly what's happening. Lucha Libre Online previously reported that WWE is working on a full-blown retirement tour to honor Styles' legendary career. WWE is expected to hold a sort of retirement tour for AJ Styles in 2026. This will be the Phenomenal One's last year as an active competitor in the ring, and AJ Styles made it clear during the Crown Jewel kickoff show that this isn't just another storyline. This is real life. His body simply couldn't compete at a higher level anymore. I'm getting old, folks. If I could find the fountain of youth and take a couple of sips, I'd wrestle for the rest of my life. But I am getting older, and the fear of embarrassing myself is getting closer. There comes a time in a man's life when he has to take care of business. But when business is done, it's time to take care of his family. I need to spend time with my family. And in 2026, I will retire. AJ Styles has wrestled across the world and headlined nearly every major promotion. He's choosing to end his story in WWE, and for him, that decision doesn't need defending, especially not from fans online. CM Punk called out for looking out of shape. CM Punk just got roasted again, this time by Rene Dupré and Master Amir, who questioned whether the World Heavyweight Champion is hiding a bigger issue under that now infamous t-shirt. It all started after Punk wrestled in a shirt during the December 22nd, 2025 episode of WWE Raw. Fans were quick to notice, and so were legends like Kevin Nash, who went after Punk on his podcast, Click This. Nash didn't mince any words when it came to his take on Punk's performance that night. If you're the heavyweight champion of the WWE and you wrestle in a t-shirt, ouch, Nash said. His punches looked really slow. He looks slow. I think it's time for him. I think he's done. I think Braun should beat him. Things then went to the next level on Café de Rene, where host Master Amir and co-host Rene Dupré added fuel to the fire. Amir opened up the discussion by acknowledging that Punk's recent run has been met with lots of criticism. Okay, CM Punk, he's been getting trashed in the headlines lately. Kevin Nash has commented. Stevie Richards has commented, our dear buddy on this, Amir said, setting the tone before digging into the issue of Punk wrestling in a shirt. Then Amir made it personal, as he asked Dupree what it meant if someone started wrestling in a t-shirt. I started wrestling in a t-shirt. Now, back in your day, Renee, if you started wearing a t-shirt while you were wrestling, what did that mean? Dupree answered bluntly, making it clear that it meant a wrestler is out of shape and on their way out. It means you're out of shape. You're on your way out. The conversation then took a sharp turn into speculation, with Amir wondering whether there was a medical reason for Punk's wardrobe choice, specifically whether he had undergone gynecomastia surgery. Did he have gynecomastia surgery? So he's covering up? No, I'm serious. Did he have gynecomastia surgery? Amir asked. Dupree replied with a measured response, not confirming, but not denying either, he may have. Amir then referenced a similar situation with The Rock, saying, remember when The Rock wore a t-shirt when he had gyno surgery? Dupree confirmed the connection. and Amir expanded on it with a few possible explanations. Okay, so he could have had that, but if he didn't, it could be one of two other things. Either he's out of shape or he's, whatever it is. Like I said, I think he is who he is. He's not a body guy anyway. Or he could be trying to market a t-shirt, one or the other. He ended by pointing out what many fans and some backstage insiders have been whispering for weeks. Regardless, people are saying that his time is up, he can't hang anymore, and he needs to wind it down and think about leaving. Between the sluggish in-ring movements, the shirt, and the more criticism from legends, many people now wonder whether CM Punk is still capable of performing at the top level anymore. Chris Jericho WWE return plans leaked. Chris Jericho's WWE return plans have been reportedly revealed. The former WWE champion has been heavily rumored to return to the sports entertainment giant. His contract with All Elite Wrestling, AEW, ended on December 31st, ending a 6-year stay with the promotion. As such, the speculation around his shocking comeback to WWE is gathering momentum. Now, in a post on X, former WWE announcer Jonathan Coachman reported that the Stamford-based promotion has big plans for Y2J's return. He noted that he will re-emerge at Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia with a new character. Jericho will not be at Raw on Monday. He is scheduled to make his return at the Rumble with a whole new look at character. He will be a special attraction similar to how they use Roman and Brock, only he will be more visible in an on-air role due to his ability to cut promos and sway the audience, he noted. Coach added that Jericho has a gig with his music band Fozzy scheduled between the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber Premium live events, but will still be part of the latter PLE plans. My sources have told me that Jericho looks to be in the best shape he has been in years. He does have a Fozzy stint already booked between the Rumble and Chamber, but is scheduled to be a big part of the Chamber plans, he noted. Fans have been expecting the first ever WWE Undisputed Champion to show up on Raw next week, but it looks like they might have to wait to see him back in WWE after nearly 8 years. Chris Jericho's last appearance for AEW came in April 2025. During this time, fans have wondered whether he is in the right ring shape to make his much-anticipated return to WWE. Jericho put any concerns over his physique to rest in an Instagram post recently. The self-proclaimed king of the world posted a photo with American television host Matthew Pinfield and looked ageless. Despite not being active in the ring for months, it looks like Chris Jericho is in really good shape.